Yellow.
Tighten up. Pull together.
They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Watch the screen. Watch the screen. Hey, Rimley.
Throwing now is Mahomes. Well, he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he's in for 6 and a Steeler touchdown. And the defense could not have written a much better script than that first drive, pick 6.
The offense never got a chance to really get oiled up there, did they? But the defense, they certainly got in gear. What a big-time play and a great way for them to start.
And now the offense, they've got to turn things around and figure this out because your backs are on the ground real quickly.
Yeah, usually when you're starting the game getting the ball, 0-0 is the only score you're worried about. Now the second time you get it, you're already down a touchdown.
It's a short kick, taking it to 15. And a great return, solid field position. He's up all the way to the 45-yard line.
Well, you gave up the first touchdown of the game, but how about the response? Big-time return. Now it's their chance to try and put points on the board.
The Chiefs in good position to start out as they come up 1st and 10. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. The linebacker, Ryan Shazier, there to make the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll run it with Williams. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And the play clock about to expire. Andy Reid notices it and takes a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
43. 43.
On 2nd and 9, Mahomes. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. It's a gain of 5, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Yellow. 180. Attack.
Check. Blue block, work it. Check 99. Check 99.
And he's able to pick up the first down here before he goes down at the 26. Able to get what they need to keep the drive going with a 6-yard pickup on 3rd down. Covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Hill, the intended receiver once again, but it'll be 2nd down. safely. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Hill, the intended receiver once again, and it'll bring up third down. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Chiefs with the football as we start the second quarter, as they've got it with a 3rd and 14 coming up. Couple of plays sent them the wrong way, and now they face a 3rd and 14. And again, it's Mahomes. He's going to let this one go deep. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
I like the boldness, and I like that they took a shot downfield, but it was well covered. He was able to get a hand in and knock it away.
And now they're going to go for it. This isn't 4th and inches. This is 4th and 14. Mahomes throwing on 4th. Well, this is intercepted, intended for Hill. Joe Hayden, the veteran, with a pick. And this one will be brought back to the 22. Well, Charles, if you think so far the early part of the preseason, who has stood out? If you take a peek back at the draft, the first round, it was pretty defensively minded, but there were 3 quarterbacks taken. Kyler Murray first, Daniel Jones 6th, Dwayne Haskins 15th. Of those guys, they've looked pretty good.
I agree with you, Brandon. When you talk about those 3 quarterbacks, and you're right, the rest of the draft, we're talking about big linemen, right? We're talking about defensive players, not a lot of skill players in the first round. But let's take the quarterbacks very quickly. Kyler Murray, by acclamation, went to Arizona. Everyone excited about it. And I think his team remains excited about his prospects. They're eager to see him play. He became the starter as soon as he was drafted. Daniel Jones, that was a different situation in New York. The fans weren't real excited about him coming in. But the reason they drafted him, has a similar demeanor and talent to Eli Manning, and he's acquitting himself quite nicely in the early going. And Dwayne Haskins a little more up and down in Washington, but they love the big arm of this guy, and he's back at home. Remember, he grew up in Potomac, Maryland.
On 2nd and 11 now, Roethlisberger. He'll find Juju Smith-Schuster, and he'll be out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Juju, there's definitely a positive spirit about that man. You know, I know you know this story, but he was asked in training camp by a fan to sign his head next to a tattooed Steelers logo.
And not a piece of paper on his head.
No.
Sign his head.
Sign his head. And then later Juju told reporters he'd give game tickets to that fan if he got it tattooed. Well, he did. And Juju came through with not only game tickets, but season tickets for the fan.
Well, there is a positive spirit about him, as you said. He does give good juju out there, and the fans feel it. In fact, at another practice session, he took part in a gender reveal because the fans asked him, hey, can you come over and help us out with this? He said, sure. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's a boy.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 49-yard line. Ben leaves to counter on the draw. And he'll take it across the 50 and into Chief territory. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
On 2nd and 7, Roethlisberger. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. James Washington, 46 yards. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. And with the rules as touchy as they can be, it's so hard to complete a diving catch in the end zone, but he just did it pretty well.
How about him getting his body, his hands, everything underneath and around the football without it hitting the ground and causing some doubt in the minds of the people who have to look at this and possibly review it. What a tremendous effort and a great catch.
Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive, but at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer, and make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
Slam, slam.
Hey, 15.
Mahomes now to throw. And he fires one incomplete. Mecole Hardman, the intended target. And that'll make it 3rd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things.
Check 55 to Mike. Check 55 to Mike.
High 7, let's go.
Mark 55. Mark 55. Watch the slant.
Hey, check Mike. Look at this.
From the gun on 3rd down, Mahomes. And going deep for Hill. That's caught inside the 20. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 70 yards, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll make our score 14-7.
14, Chiefs 7.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think.
And they get to him with a pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. Frank Clark, credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16.
Alert.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Now a second timeout called for by the defense, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Ready? Block 80! 53. Pick me up. Here we go.
From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. The Chiefs quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Jordan Berry now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. Here's Hill on the return. Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And this offense set up with a very short field. 1st and 10 inside the 20.
Yellow, yellow. 180. You better be afraid of me. You better be afraid. 43. 15.
And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
So many play callers in the red zone worry about the negative effects of a play that they're about to call. For this guy, all he's worried about is gaining yardage and putting the ball in the hands of his playmakers.
Yellow. 15.
That's right, baby. Get away.
Yellow.
55. Eat, exit.
On 2nd down and 4, Mahomes. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. A chance now to get even before the break as they come up 1st and goal. On the ground, this is Williams. And he is in. Touchdown, Kansas City. A 5-yard touchdown run as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game.
I don't think it's any state secret to know what they were saying before the start of this drive. Let's go and punch one in the end zone and go into the halftime feeling a heck of a lot better about ourselves. Let's go get this done.
Yeah, tie things up, and then you got a brand new ball game. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. You're under 30 seconds to go. Field position not great. Time to call it a half, wouldn't you say?
Well, you know we all have that little extra gene that says let's push the envelope a little bit, right? What needs to be going through the play caller's mind right now, a potential fumbled snap that can get returned, a strip sack that can get returned, right? Any of those types of plays, that should be a deterrent to calling something that could get you in big trouble.
Screen pass to Connor. And he'll be upended after a gain of 5, up to the 25-yard line. Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half.
Like 30.
53 for Mike.
Better take both of them.
You better bring. I'm letting you know right now, you better bring.
Help out.
Switch. Let's go. Here we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Roethlisberger. Going top shelf for... Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Juju Smith-Schuster in the final seconds of the first half. And the Steelers have taken the lead. Extra point put through by Boswell. And the lead is now 21-14. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Okay, Coach. Appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the third quarter. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Open man right side is Smith-Schuster, complete. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. James Conner, 65 yards. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit, get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, being on second half, whatever. This was a big score to start second half.
That's fielded in the end zone. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. 30, 10, and all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. He goes 105 yards on the kick return as his guys are back within a single score. It's been a back-and-forth game, a lot of points on the board, and that return right there kind of indicative of how this thing's gone.
Yeah, you've seen both teams go at it, and as you just pointed out, both of them have found the end zone. But just like in boxing, you know the blow that hurts the most? The one you didn't see coming, and that often is the case when it comes in special teams.
So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They were able to extend their lead with an opening drive touchdown here in the third quarter, but that just got matched a moment ago.
So we know that what they discussed at the half worked. Now, what are the counters to that, right? You don't just run the same things over and over. Some do, but many will also show something and then come back with something else to keep the defense off balance.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. They'll stay on the ground with Conner again. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Jack 16. Check.
On 1st and 10 is Conner. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
11 yards there, first down. On first down, it's Conner, and they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Mike. Ready? Black 20.
Mike. Off the screen.
They go draw play. This is Samuels. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. He'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
Five.
You're not ready. You're not ready. Show
Double. 50. Flag is turned.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. He's going to air one out. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
The Chiefs' offense about set to begin this drive. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to disrupt these offenses. And typically, one guy makes a big play, and that can help change things.
They'll be looking for disruption on both sides right now. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10.
6 man. Check.
Yellow.
Now here's Mahomes. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was trying to get it to Tyreek Hill that time. And it's 3rd down. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Bravo! Stay in situation. Let's go. Mike 55. Hey, eat.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his 2nd of the game. Instead, 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th.
Right there in the middle. 55.
Yellow.
Check safety. You got motion man. You got motion man right there.
50, yellow.
Here we go. 4th down, Mahomes. And going deep for Hill. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 70 yards, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Point after, right down the middle. And we are all tied at 28. So right back to square one, tied at 28 as he kicks it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And in enemy territory last time through the interception. We'll see what they do on this drive.
Can't wait to see how it alters what they decide to do in play calling. Do they continue to throw the ball? Do they want to lean more on the running game? It'll be an interesting sequence of plays that they've got coming up.
Does it often affect the play calling with the interception? How much does that change what you do?
I think it does depending on why the interception was thrown. Sometimes it's just a matter of the defense made a great play, so you continue to come back. But if it's on, they're a little bit shaky, maybe try and take the pressure off and run the ball a little bit.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two. Roethlisberger now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. 11 more yards that go around. A first down as well.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? Roethlisberger now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. On the draw, Connor. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Kendall Fuller in on the stop.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Again, it's Connor. And he'll take this one down near the 15. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on 2nd down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4. To throw here, Roethlisberger. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Big Ben with his 4th touchdown pass of the afternoon. And they're able to break the tie and move out in front here in this 4th quarter. And it's no good. Well, that could be a critical miss here in a 1-score game in the 4th. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it, because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Let's go, defense. Let's go, defense.
Yellow.
Here we go.
6 guys. Hey, red one, red one.
Jim.
Right side.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. From the gun, it's Mahomes. Hard throw, incomplete. There have been quite a few plays they might look back on and say, we really have hurt ourselves, and that was another example.
And this is late-game execution. Everything on the line, so it all has to come together properly. The throw's made. Where's the catch? Got to catch in that spot.
So down 6, and they know they need this one on 4th down. They'll go for it. It's Mahomes. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it.